A single, fragile eggshell fragment lies embedded within the 600-year-old mortar of the Charles Bridge, preserved against the biting winds of the Vltava River. Legend suggests that the medieval builders mixed thousands of eggs into the limestone slurry to grant the structure supernatural strength. Modern chemical analysis recently confirmed that organic proteins were indeed used to bind these massive sandstone blocks together. This bridge has survived centuries of ice flows, wars, and catastrophic floods. It remains a marvel of stability. The durability of this structure reflects the stubborn resilience of the Czech Republic and its capital city. Standing atop the bridge at dawn, one hears the rhythmic clanging of the metal wheels of a distant tram. A cinematic fog over rooftops softens the jagged edges of the Gothic spires. Prague did not simply appear, it was carved into the Bohemian landscape through sheer engineering will. The foundation of this metropolis rests on a jagged ridge of slate and quartz. Princess Libush looked out from the cliffs of Vyšehrad and saw a city whose glory would touch the stars. Around the year 880, Prince Bořivaj I of the Přemyslid dynasty began clearing the dense forest to lay the first stones of Prague Castle. This site was strategically chosen because it overlooked a vital ford in the river where merchants crossed on their way between the Baltic and the Mediterranean. Early settlers encountered a landscape defined by deep ravines and a temperamental waterway. The Vltava was both a blessing and a curse. It provided a natural moat for the early settlements of Staré Mesto. Trading vessels brought salt and silk to the riverbanks. Early wooden fortifications eventually gave way to massive stone ramparts. The urban DNA was forged in stone. By the 10th century, the city had become a major hub for the Holy Roman Empire. The primary challenge was the swampy soil near the riverbank, which required architects to sink thousands of oak piles into the mud to support heavy buildings. This subterranean forest still supports some of the oldest structures in the Old Town. In the 14th century, Emperor Charles IV initiated an urban planning revolution that would redefine the city for the next 700 years. He was the first great urbanist of Central Europe. Charles envisioned a new town, or Nové Mesto, that would be 3 times larger than the existing urban area. This project was a massive engineering undertaking involving the construction of a 3.5-kilometer-long stone wall. This wall stood 6 meters high. The emperor personally oversaw the layout of wide boulevards and massive squares. These spaces were designed to accommodate tens of thousands of pilgrims and merchants. Charles IV hired the young architect Petr Parleyer to complete the St. Vitus Cathedral and the bridge that now bears the emperor's name. Parleyer was a master of the net vault, a complex structural system that distributed the weight of stone roofs more efficiently than ever before. This innovation allowed for much larger windows and soaring interior heights. The cathedral rose to a height of nearly 100 meters. Construction of this single building would ultimately take nearly 600 years to fully complete. Matthias of Arras began the work, but Parleyer's vision gave it its soul. Scaffolding towers became a permanent feature of the Prague skyline for generations. Stone by stone, the Gothic era transformed the city into a forest of spires. The 19th century brought another radical transformation as industrialization swept through the Czech lands. This era required a total overhaul of the city's ancient, cramped infrastructure. Engineers focused on the Vltava riverfront, building stone embankments to prevent the frequent flooding that paralyzed trade. In 1893, the city government launched the Asanis, or the Great Sanitation of the Jewish Ghetto. This was a controversial urban renewal project that saw the demolition of hundreds of medieval buildings to make way for wide, Parisian-style boulevards. Architects like Joseph H. Lavka were commissioned to design massive stone bridges and elegant residential blocks. The demolition of the slums allowed for the installation of a modern sewage system designed by the British engineer William Lindley. He mapped out a network of brick-lined tunnels that still function today. These tunnels required millions of fired bricks. Lindley's work saved the city from cholera. The cost of these infrastructure projects reached millions of Austro-Hungarian kronas. This was a massive public investment. During the early 20th century, Prague became a laboratory for architectural experimentation. Modernism and Cubism left their mark on the city's facades. Concrete mixers worked 24/7 as new districts like Vinohrady and Smíchov expanded the city's footprint. The 1970s and 80s introduced a new layer of infrastructure that changed the city's pulse. The Prague Metro was a monumental engineering feat of the Cold War era. To build Line A, engineers had to tunnel deep beneath the river and the historical foundations of the Old Town. Náměstí Míru station sits 53 meters underground, making it one of the deepest stations in Europe. The long escalators take over 2 minutes to carry passengers to the surface. A subway train arriving at station creates a powerful gust of wind that echoes through the tiled tunnels. These tunnels were also designed to serve as nuclear bunkers for the population. Beyond the tracks, a secret network of utility tunnels known as collectors houses miles of fiber optics and power lines. These collectors prevent workers from having to dig up the historic cobblestone streets every time a pipe bursts. There are over 90 kilometers of these walkable tunnels beneath the city. They represent a hidden nervous system. The political power structures of the 20th century also shaped the urban design. Giant monolithic structures like the Zhizkov television tower were built to dominate the horizon. This tower stands 216 meters tall. It was once a symbol of state control. Today, it serves as a landmark for navigation. The 2002 flood was a turning point for the city's survival. The Vltava River rose to its highest level in 500 years, submerging entire districts. Over 50,000 people had to be evacuated from their homes. In the aftermath, the city invested over $150 million into a sophisticated flood defense system. This system includes 3.5 kilometers of mobile barriers that can be deployed in under 24 hours. These aluminum panels are bolted into fixed foundations during emergencies. They have already saved the old town from subsequent floods. Every panel is numbered and tracked. Modern Prague is now balancing its historic preservation with the needs of a global tech hub. The dancing house, designed by Vlado Milunik and Frank Gehry, signaled a break from the rigid shapes of the past. Its twisted glass towers resemble a pair of dancers frozen in time. High-tech office buildings are now rising in the Pankrock district. This area is known as Prague's Little Manhattan because of its concentration of skyscrapers. Architects pointing at models are now planning the Vltava Philharmonic Hall, a project estimated to cost over $350 million. This new landmark will be a masterpiece of acoustic engineering. Climate change is the next major challenge for the city's engineers. Urban heat islands are a growing concern in the dense, stone-heavy center. The city is responding by planting thousands of trees and implementing smart city sensors to monitor air quality and traffic flow. These sensors help optimize the movements of the world's most efficient tram network. Trams move 350 million passengers annually. Pedestrians crossing busy intersections are now guided by AI-driven traffic lights. A helicopter aerial over city shows a sea of terracotta tiles interspersed with modern glass atria. The future of Prague lies in its ability to adapt without losing its ancient character. Drone flying through clouds captures the contrast between 10th-century towers and 21st-century solar arrays. This city has survived fires, floods, and foreign occupations. Its legacy is one of endurance and meticulous craftsmanship. The transition from a medieval trade post to a smart city metropolis is nearly complete. Prague proves that a city can grow without erasing its history. The engineering marvels of the past provide the foundation for the dreams of the future. Concrete and stone have become an eternal archive of human ambition. Every layer of the city tells a story of survival. The silent Vltava continues to flow toward the North Sea. It has witnessed the entire evolution. We are merely the current guardians of this stone legacy. Urban evolution never truly ends, it only shifts its focus. Inside these walls, the spirit of Charles IV still lingers. The Golden City remains standing. This is a story written in granite. The world watches as it continues to rise. Prague is a monument to human persistence. It is truly a city of 1,000 spires. The clock continues to tick. Progress is inevitable. The masonry holds firm. Time flows like the river. Modernity meets antiquity here. This is the heart of Europe. Prague will always endure. High above the river, the castle stands watch. History is carved into every paving stone. Engineering is the silent language of the city. We must listen to its whispers. The transformation continues every single day. Look closely at the mortar. There are still secrets to find. The city is a living machine. We are part of its gear. Every arch tells a truth. No stone is ever truly silent. The spires touch the clouds. Darkness brings the golden glow. The city sleeps but never stops. We move forward together. The horizon is always changing. Prague remains our constant. It is the eternal city of Bohemia. Peace rests in the shadows. The future is bright and clear. Architecture is our greatest legacy, built for the ages. The story is just beginning. One shell, one stone, one city. Endless beauty remains here. The world is watching. Nature and steel unite. Respect the past always. Embrace the new world. This is the Prague way. Stability defines this place. We are the builders now. Never forget the roots. The city is our home, spanning the river forever. The light never fades. Glory belongs to the persistent. Engineering is our art. The Vltava flows on. Peace be with the spires. Treasure the golden city. It belongs to us all. The journey never finishes. Always look upward. The city is eternal. Beauty is our guide. Strength is in the mortar, built to last forever. Prague stands proud. This is the final word. Amen to the stone. The history is ours. Carry the flame forward. The dream is alive. Vision becomes reality. Prague is the world's heart. Keep the spires high. The story continues. End of the narrative line. The city remains. Glory to Prague, forever and ever. Amen.